Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. It is 10:16. I'll wait until 10:17 and then set the record. Unless Bridget already said it. Let me check.
So Deb, I had a question. Are you planning on showing from the student perspective?
No, that's going to be the training.
Okay.
Just answering the 5 questions.
All right. I'm going to use Daisy Duck then if we're going to record.
It says it's recording at the top.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's recording, guys. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Debbie Tabchouri. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Director of Enrollment Management. And Courtney, Schoolmaster, is also presenting today. She's Assistant Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. We are going to answer the big 5 questions: how, when, what, where, and why for the 3 new software applications that we've been implementing over the past couple of years: Regroup, DegreeWorks, and Starfish. Just so that everyone knows, rolling out all of these softwares has been a team effort. It's required a lot of work, as Christina Martin said in the chat a little bit earlier. DegreeWorks was 2 years in the making. So I want everyone who's on this call who was part of the Regroup, DegreeWorks, or Starfish team to just write in the chat, I was part of the Starfish team, our DegreeWorks, just so people know who was working on this. And then Kalita is there, James is there. They were both part of the Starfish team. And there were lots of people that were part of the DegreeWorks team. So just identify yourself. Thanks, Catherine. Just so people know everyone that was working on the team. And I'm going to go ahead and get started and discuss Regroup. So what is Regroup? Regroup is a mass communication system that we purchased back in the spring. It was kind of an urgent purchase brought about by COVID. We had been looking at the software for a while, but COVID really made it important that we jump on board with this software. It's a little bit different than what our emergency notification system that we were using, Smart Notice, because Regroup can let us communicate via text, voice, Facebook. It can interact with Canvas, but it talks directly to Lola. So we can automatically get staff, faculty, and student information. We don't have to ask you to sign up for it. So as of now, it has completely replaced Smart Notice. You will notice it in the past, you've had to go into the SLCC homepage, click the Smart Notice icon, and give your information. If you wanted to receive emergency notifications, you no longer have to. You are automatically put into Regroup if you are a faculty, staff, or student, and you will automatically get notifications. Who will use it? The Office of Safety and Security are going to start using it for their emergency notifications. We've done some tests. You probably weren't aware that messages were coming from Regroup instead of Smart Notice. The Communication and Marketing Office will be using it because it can be used as a marketing tool as well. And Student Services has been using it to communicate with students. We saw a dramatic difference in response from students when the financial aid and student accounts notices were sent out and included a text. And the text can be something as vague as check your email for important information about your student balance. And it's just another way for us to trigger students. What we found is that as soon as that text goes out, the financial aid and student account offices were immediately hit with communications from students. So it's been a much more effective tool for us. Regroup is available now. We've been rolling it out in limited capacity just as a test. We will start using it for more offices, like the Office of Student Engagement, throughout the rest of the academic year. And we are no longer using Smart Notice. Why did we decide to use it? As I mentioned, I had been looking at it for a while. We needed a good institution-wide texting solution. A lot of the offices were using free tools to text, and all of those had limitations. But COVID really prompted us to get on board quickly. Another nice feature, as the slide says, about Regroup is that students can, once we roll out this feature, students can go into Regroup and select the language that they want. So our students who are more comfortable with Arab or Vietnamese, they can pick that and it will automatically get translated. The messages will automatically get translated.
So Debbie, we have a question. Can instructors use this for their own use?
This is not accessible to instructors at this time. So right now, we do want students communicating directly to instructors through either Canvas or Starfish. One of the reasons for that is that it gives you access to that history if you kind of need evidence that you sent the message to the student, or if the student needs a little more evidence that they tried to communicate with you. You won't have that in Regroup, but you will have that in the other two applications that I mentioned, Starfish or Canvas. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
Do we have any questions from anyone else in regards to Regroup? So Debbie, can you tell them a couple of examples of how we've used it since COVID has hit?
We actually use this to send the I don't know what you guys are calling it, the health survey every morning. We use Regroup to send that to our students every morning. We also use it, as I mentioned, for to notify students that an applicant who doesn't have a FAFSA on file, a financial aid recipient who has outstanding documents. It's kind of another layer of communication. The student, I actually will be sending a notice out today to the students who are at risk of being dropped. The Student Accounts Office has attempted to communicate with them via email several times now, but if a student is still not responding and still not taking care of things, we want to add that text feature as another layer.
And I would say one of my favorite things about Regroup is that it sends out a short text message, but it allows them to click to a longer text message, which is really just a great thing. So the student can get the gist of it. And then if they really want to learn more, there's a button that allows them to go into a longer explanation of what we're talking about.
And I'll add too, if anyone was on Stacia's presentation earlier today, the survey that she talked about, we sent notice out via text to students for them to complete that survey. And as Courtney said, they get a text, but they can view the full message through the text, or they also get it through their email.
And then Sarah's follow-up question of, does Starfish handle text messages? And I don't know if we're going to cover that later in the Starfish.
Starfish currently is not sending text messages. I know that they are trying to implement that. So that should be a future service.
And then Fritz said, can we use this to start telling students to submit graduation applications?
Actually, we can use it, Francina. I would encourage us to use Starfish, and I'll talk more about that. You can set up a graduation plan in Starfish that has multiple steps that the students need to do as they prepare for graduation. But yeah, if the graduation deadline is coming and you want to send a notice out, it's perfect for that. And Mr. Sharif, that we are using it for hurricane notifications. We already have used it. You just didn't know that we were using it, but we were. All right, thanks, guys. And we'll go ahead and let Courtney discuss DegreeWorks.
So I'm going to talk about DegreeWorks. You guys have heard a lot about this over the last year. We're just going to give one more push to it for any new people or anybody who maybe missed the discussion that's been going on for the last year. The DegreeWorks team was made up of our fearless leader, Connie Chopin, our registrar, and then she picked the best people she could from the college. So we have Maya Smith from the Office of Distance Education who assisted us. Rebecca Cernich, the Assistant Dean of Technical Studies, myself, Saul Broussard, who has since gone on to become a park ranger, Tawana Benoit, our Assistant Registrar, and I feel like I'm forgetting a person, and I apologize. And then we've also got some new people that have joined our team just recently. Dan Calhoun is joining us, Nataki Falk is joining us, and then Scott Corbell will be joining us. So we're rolling on our first faculty member to the DegreeWorks team. So we're super excited about moving forward with a new group of people coming in. And just a little bit of background, software is a web-based auditing system. So while we are using it to help students with advising, it is really an actual auditing system that really is monitoring the student's progress towards degree completion. So we want to keep in mind that it is not an advising software, which means it's going to have some limitations as we use it for advising. And so we have to keep those limitations in mind. So who is using this software? All of our faculty advisors should be using it at this point. Our staff advisors have been using it just a little bit longer. They were nice enough to be our first round of guinea pigs. Deans are using it to run graduations audits, and obviously our registrar's office is using it as they're monitoring progress and doing exceptions and so forth. And then our financial aid office just recently started using this as well, which we're super excited about to help assist them with staff and running staff appeals. So you can see it's slowly starting to penetrate the college in other ways. And then of course, our active students are using it. And one of the things that we found is that when a student stumbles across DegreeWorks, they are super excited. So one of the things that we ask our faculty and staff is when you've got an opportunity to sit down with a student, show them their DegreeWorks page, show them how they can control their future and really get a deep dive into where they are in terms of graduation or their next steps. Oh, it was available starting, I think, I don't know where the microphone is in this room. Unfortunately, my camera's not working in my office, so I had to come into the conference room. So I will try to talk even louder, though Kelly's going to kill me down the hall. Is that a little bit better, Elizabeth? Okay, awesome. So it became available, I think, around this time last year. We rolled it out. But what it actually covers is the catalog from 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, and then this year's catalog, 2020, 2021. So if a student joined us in 2017, they're going to get an error message when they go into DegreeWorks. Now, they can do one of two things. An immediate fix to that is they can use the what if feature, change their catalog year, and then they should still be able to look at the software and see how they're doing. And then the long-term fix is that they actually need to go in and change their catalog year if it benefits them with the registrar's office so that they will actually officially be in one of the newer catalogs that does work with the system. We will not go back and transcribe pre-2018. One, our curriculum was a little bit of a mess at that time, and too many changes took place between 2017 and 2018. And really, we don't have that many students that are going to fall into this boat. And most of those students that will fall into the boat are more likely going to jump to those newer catalogs anyway, or think they're on the newer catalogs at that point. So we're really happy with what we have in there. If you were on the call at the beginning when we were just chatting, as Connie Chopin messaged, DegreeWorks is a manual system in which our team has to basically code, as you would a website, the information in. So we are still going to have that testing phase where we're going to maybe potentially have some errors. We ask that you just report those errors to us. Paige McGee, I don't know if you're on, but if you are, she is our favorite person in the world because she checks us at least once or twice a week to make sure that our stuff is right. Sometimes she wins, sometimes we win, but it's a great process. So please, if you see something that looks wonky, let us know so that we can make an effort to get that fixed. So that's when it's available. My Vanna White's falling down on the job.
Sorry.
Why are we using it? We're using it because it does support academic advising. It does make it easier for you guys. You don't have to do that old-fashioned, find the transcript, pull up the degree plan, write on it. Student loses the copy. Oh, I emailed you a copy. Oh, when was that email? All of that ridiculousness, right? It's a real-time thing that is going to update as the students are registering for classes, as they're completing classes. It does, in fact, minimize advising errors. It does support more timely degree completion. And eventually we're going to be able to move away from manual degree audits and move to electronic degree audits through the degree work system and the system that supports it, which is called Transit on the back of it, which anyone who's a program coordinator or does degree audits for the college is cheering right now. We are not there yet, but we are slowly moving every semester towards making sure we've got accurate information and able to move there fully. Okay, so if you want to know more about DegreeWorks, you can visit our DegreeWorks page, which is housed on the registrar's office. And before Mr. Broussard left, he did an excellent job of putting together a great document for students. While it is aimed at students and we are speaking to students, it is in fact a very informative piece of information about DegreeWorks. It takes you through all of the blocks. It takes you through what things mean. It takes you through what this code is and why you want a green check mark versus red check mark. Also on that DegreeWorks page, you're going to find the ability to put in a ticket to let us know if you do think there's an issue that we need to look into or something's not working correctly, as well as eventually you can put in tickets for exceptions. So let's say a student took sociology XXXXX and it's not reading in their degree plan, you can put in for an exception and the registrar's office can apply that sociology class to their sociology degree plan and make it permanent so that the student doesn't have to keep seeing it at the bottom and try to factor it in. So if you haven't had a chance to check out our DegreeWorks page, the team has done a great job with it. Take a look when you get a moment.
Courtney, we've got a couple of questions. Would now be a good time?
Go ahead.
Sarah asks, is there a way to put in for ASLT a recommendation to check AGS as an alternative in DegreeWorks if they're short on credits for graduation?
There is the ability to put in some text at the bottom of the page. So that is something that the program coordinator for ASLT could discuss with us, and we could look at some options for that. So that is definitely a function we could maybe accommodate.
And another question is, are we awarding certificates in general studies automatically still?
I don't know the answer to that question, and I'm going to let Connie Chopin, who's in a support role here today for me, chime in on the chat to or maybe Francina might know the answer to that as well. I know Tawana was working
speak on that, Courtney.
What's that?
We did I guess and we also did it for CTSs. We were very excited because we were able to award 400.
So Connie went out there for a second, but I think what she was saying is we did automate it, which now is coming back to me, and we awarded almost 400 new certificates as a result of it. We still can't hear you.
700 more certificates.
700 more.
400 CTSs and S's. We did it as a testing, pretty much manual. We ran it through Transit and DegreeWorks, and then we had individuals throughout the college check it manually. So it did work. And we're going to try to do the same thing again for the spring. I think we're meeting today in the registrar's office to get it started for summer 2020, fall 2020, and spring 21.
That is awesome news. So yes, Sarah, we are doing them automatically and we seem to be excelling at it. So we're very excited about that.
I'd like to kind of add to that 2 years ago, which would have been the first year that they were working on DegreeWorks, our completers went up 50%. And then last year, our completers went up another 35% on top of that. So I think all of these tools that we've been using have really improved completion at SLCC.
So how do you access it? It is available through the Faculty and Advisor tab and self-service banner in the Faculty Registration Tool section. So you can just log into Lola with your normal credentials, go ahead and hit that self-service tab, and then DegreeWorks will pop up under the Faculty Registration Tools. Okay, so as Debbie said, we are not going to take you through a training on this, but I will show you just very briefly.
Do I need to give up my screen, Courtney?
I think it overrides you, but let me know. Can you see?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, I had it all set up. This is our fake student Daisy Duck. Daisy doesn't have a lot of classes because we haven't added any in for this section. But this is what a DegreeWorks plan looks like from a student perspective as well as a faculty member's perspective. You can see that it's broken up into blocks. And this is how we refer to the blocks as the major block, the general education block, and then usually an elective block. Not every degree is going to have the same number of blocks because some don't have general education credits. They just have major credits. Some don't have electives. But you're generally on the lookout for a couple of different types of blocks. We've got your program requirement block. We've got the general studies block, the general education block, and then the elective block. We tend to put them in that same order in every plan, so everything will look consistent. So you've got your program requirement block, then your major block. If they have a gen ed block and an elective block, they'll follow in that order. And you can see it tells a student what they need. And if the student has done it, it will show them a green check mark that it's satisfied, and it will show them what it is satisfied by. You can see that this student has completed one of the 2 courses they need, which is why their social behavioral science elective is not finished off yet, but they're halfway there and they only need 3 credits instead of 6. If the student has any classes that are hanging out that don't apply to the degree plan, it's going to be down here at the bottom, as well as any notes that the advisor leaves for the student. So you can see Ms. McKenzie left a note that they discussed academic strategies, learning styles, study skills, and time management. If you click the block, it will show the student all of the classes that are eligible in that range for them to take. It takes a minute to pop up. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it to do it today. The other thing it's going to do is it's also going to show them which of those classes are available during spring semester and the times that they're offered. So it's also a good planning resource for students, which is why you want to introduce it to them early. It gives all of that kind of information at the top, but the one thing we want to highlight for you is check their catalog term if they're getting errors. This is that term we were talking about earlier. So if that term says 2017, you don't need to waste your time emailing us. You know exactly why they're not getting a report. If they're not getting a report, or let's say I don't want to be an AGS major anymore, we have this fabulous function called What If that allows the student to play around with being different types of majors or to use different types of catalogs. So if I want to do an AS in culinary applications, I can see how many of those credits that I had will carry over. And you can see my psychology class carried over, but my SFSE class did not. So it drops down to non-program courses. And that's using the What If feature. Again, there's so many components to this, but we've done some trainings on it. There's some training videos up there for you as well as training resources. But it is a fabulous product that really does help students stay on track and allows them to very quickly see what they should be taking for the next semester. Keep in mind, if a student does double dip and takes psychology twice, the old transfer course is going to drop to the bottom and the in-progress course is going to drop to the top. So you as an advisor want to make sure you're looking to make sure a student does not do that to themselves, because we do not want them repeating courses unless they really, really need to. So that is DegreeWorks.
I have two questions for you, Courtney. One of them is, are students receiving training on this? And the other one is that where is the best place for them to tell students to go find DegreeWorks?
Their DegreeWorks is also in Lola. So the students can access it right through as soon as they log on to Lola, in the same way that you guys are accessing it. They have a link under their students tab for it. When you ask, are students receiving training on it, did we offer a one-on-one session, kind of like we did with faculty, in terms of a Zoom call and walk them through it? No, we did not, but we offered them training materials and videos. Maya Smith did a fabulous job. She's got a video on how to read your degree audit, how to log in, how to, like, they're on that webpage that we talked about earlier is a whole bunch of different videos that walks the student through. They're about 3 minutes in length, so they're not super long, but it takes the students through each part of it. And then, of course, we're relying on our advisors, right? When you're meeting with a student, you should be pulling it up and walking a student through it and answering any questions that they have. So the students do have support out there for it. We've given it to them in the form of videos. We've not done any WebEx type of things with them. We can definitely talk about it in our next DegreeWorks meeting. But at this time, we've got some great videos and some handbooks and materials to help support them, as well as our advising team who is working through students during the appointments as well.
Okay, does it automatically go back to sharing my screen? I'm not that familiar with WebEx.
It's not.
Okay, so do I share content?
You're going to share, and then you're going to pick whatever your PowerPoint is in.
All right. Thank you. Can everyone see it now? I'm sharing the screen. All right, so now we're going to go on to Starfish. What is it? So Starfish is a software application that's intended to improve retention and completion. One of the ways that it does that is by improving the accessibility of faculty and services to the students. And also, the students become more accessible to the faculty. It includes a lot of built-in functionality. For those of you who have used it for the pilot 5-week progress survey, you know, there are automatic emails that go out. It does a good job of making the faculty's life easier by automating things. And as we roll out additional features, it will also make things more efficient for student services staff. Who will be using it? Virtually everyone at the institution will be using it. Advisors, all of the different student services offices, and both our active students and our prospective students who are still part of the onboarding process will be using it. When is it available? It's available now. We have done a very slow rollout. It has so many features, and then you can kind of build your own features. We didn't want to overwhelm everyone. On top of COVID, you guys didn't need any more stress in your lives. So what we've done is rolled out just some key features that will improve efficiency and make your life easier. And then over the course of the academic year, we're going to be adding features. And really for the next several years, we will be able to continue to add features. As they become available, we will roll out training and videos for you to learn how to use these new features. Effective in spring of 2021, this semester, all faculty will be required to use Starfish. They have to have their profile set up. They need to have their office hours programmed into Starfish. They will complete the 5-week progress surveys as the early alert for all of the full semester and 12-week classes. And everyone for the fall semester did their assessment using Starfish, but they will continue to do that throughout the spring semester. Courtney, I'm not seeing the chat anymore, so if you could let me know if there are any questions that come up.
We just had one quick question from Peggy Adams. Is Starfish where we complete our portfolio? And I'm not sure if she meant to write portfolio or profile, but this is where you are going to complete your profile, not the end of the year portfolio. This is a communication and support system for students. And then Sarah Albert said, can I save a file for myself of the 5-week survey as I enter it in Starfish just to keep track of what I entered?
That's a really great question. We might want to look at that. We are able to download reports of all of the stuff that gets put into Starfish, so we can get it to you. I'm not sure if we want to set up a process for doing that to make sure everyone has access to historical information or not.
Deb, I thought it sent them a digest email.
I'm sorry?
I thought it sent a digest email with.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It would send a digest email, but if for her to be able to download it, I'm not sure if she can download all of her tracking items herself.
Okay.
But she could save the email notification that she gets that has all that information in it.
She said, okay, email works. I need clarification on the survey. Does she mean export her own survey?
I don't understand the question.
So I think, can we just go over what a progress survey is again?
Sure. A progress survey it's going to take the place of the 5-week kind of early alert. Excuse me. Basically, every faculty member will have a survey to complete for each of their courses. The students will be listed and they will pick between 3 choices. The student's off to a great start, the student needs tutoring, or the student needs to talk to the faculty member. That's the progress survey.
Most of you just did a progress survey for outcome assessment in which you picked exceeds expectations, meets expectations, or fails to meet expectations. So it would be a similar, exactly looks the same survey, but it's asking different questions.
Yeah, we actually were the first institution that Starfish knows about to use a progress survey in that way, and they are very interested in knowing how it worked for us so that they can kind of sell that as a feature to their other schools. All right, I'm going to move on now, and if there are any more questions that come up, we'll get to answer them. How do I learn more? Well, as they say, there's an app for that. There's a team for that. We are rolling out new features and setting up videos and doing training. All of the team members are doing training, so you don't get left behind. For those of you who are not familiar with using Microsoft Teams, you are all in a team called Software Resources. And in that Software Resources team, there's a place for Starfish. If you want to go there and set your notifications to be turned on, you will get notified every time we add video content. There are 5 videos out there right now for how to set up your profile, how to set up office hours, how to edit office hours, and I think there's a how to complete a progress survey, and I don't recall the 5th one right now. So that is how you learn more. But we also, there is training this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for all of the faculty. If you haven't put that on your schedule, I encourage you to put that on your schedule. We are going to go through step by step how to set up your profile and how to put in your office hours and how to edit office hours.
There's one at 3 o'clock today if you would like to attend.
Oh, I was referring to the other PLO report. that I just didn't see the email that came with that. Sorry, I was a little late on that, but I'll check more for that email so that I get a little thing to keep for myself next time. Sorry.
Okay, I'll answer the question about Microsoft Teams at the end, if that's all right. I'll do a walkthrough if we have time. So how do I access Starfish? It is on the SLCC homepage, the same place as the office.com, Lola. It's right there for everyone to click on it. And you just use your Lola credentials to log in. If you change your Lola password, it automatically changes your Starfish password. I feel like this was not the latest version of the presentation that I opened. But that seems like all we have. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Teams. I'm going to do a walkthrough for everyone to show you how to access your Teams. Can you see that here? I can't see my own screen. Courtney, can you tell me if you can see my Teams?
Yeah, we can.
Awesome. All right, let's go to, you'll click on Teams and you'll see all of the teams that you're on. If you see something a little bit more like this, where you're actually inside a team, click on all teams up here to see all of the teams that you are on. Everyone is in SLCC software resources. And there is a general channel and a Starfish channel. You just click the 3 dots on the Starfish channel, and then you can set your notifications to all activity. If you change your mind and no longer want to get
Teams, Deb, you would go to Office 365 and hit the tiles in the corner, correct?
oh, if you want to see that, I can bring that over here too. Let me get that open for you guys. And move it over. So you're on your browser and you go to office.com. You would go to Teams here. Alternatively, some of you are probably just right here. You can click on this little tic-tac-toe menu up here and find Teams in that as well.
And then we had another question. Who can I contact through Starfish? Is it only my active courses and advisees, or can I contact students from previous semesters?
That is a great question. I encourage you to log into the training if you want to learn more, but I'll answer that question since we have some time right now. You can actually select if you want, like just to view the students in each class. There's a drop-down box that lists your classes, or you can do all students, or you can, and you can pick the terms. If you want the active term right now, I believe that fall and spring are active because there's a 2-week overlap. That semesters are active. They become active 2 weeks before they start, and I believe they're active 2 weeks after they're finished, just in case you need to go back and communicate with students or you need to communicate in advance. But there are drop-down boxes where you can filter your student list for that.
And then Fredro, I just wanted to remind everybody, if you're using your computer here at school, Teams is already pre-installed on your computer. You can just click and open it. Other questions before we sign off and head back over to the final session with Dr. Miller? Again, we do have a training at 3 o'clock today. Office of Academic Affairs sent out a registration link, but no one will tell if you don't register ahead of time. You can register during the session as well. And we will cover Starfish, how to update your profile, how to add in your office hours, and what does a progress survey look like. So it'll give you some in-depth hands-on usage. So you could actually follow along and update your profile and add your office hours while we're doing the presentation if you'd like. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. And if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to any of our team members.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Great job, ladies.
Thanks, Connie.
Connie.